There's nothing to do around here. It's like deja vu. Wait. I know. I wonder if he's busy. Hey, dude. Hey, guy. How are things? Terrible. I'm bored to tears, and I just found out I'm pretty much out of work until they release this new DLC. And I really don't know how long that's even going to last, so it's not great. What's going on with you? Well, all of our weapons are getting reworked, like down to individual stats. You mean like on what? Weapon classes? No. On individual guns. Most of them, too. This kind of came out of nowhere. What with a new quest coming, a new Warframe on the way, new open world cityscape to play in. Wow. Really? That's a ton of also new weapons, syndicate mods, new enemy vehicle interaction, new Eidolon battles. Those are like raid bosses for you, I guess. And okay. I get it. I'm depressed enough already. Jeez. Shame you can't join me, bud. But I honestly got to get back to going over all this. It's a lot to get ready for. But hey, chin up. Everything should be fine for you as soon as the changes they propose come through, right? When's that? A couple weeks? All of them? Like next fall? Next fall? That long? Just to get the game back to where it used to be? Well, try to stay positive. Changes are coming. I mean, they said they heard your community, so I'm sure they're gonna make everything just fine for you. But like, I gotta go. So let me know how you make out. And yeah, stay positive. Yeah, that's what I'd do about it. I'm sure they'll work it out. Okay? So talk to you later then. All right. Bye. Son of a bitch. Hey y'all, Siege here, and today, let me talk at you for a second. If I'm understanding this right, essentially, Bungie made a sequel within its franchise where most original players were led to believe would not be the case, for the express purpose of being able to make content more consistently available and attract a larger audience, and now is taking the better part of its initial launch year to attempt to revert most of the major functionality of this new IP back to how its predecessor worked. So, am I to understand then that around fall of 2018, again, a year after the game came out, that it will willfully be putting itself in a position where it can truly then be called Destiny 1.5, a moniker it's consistently tried to shrug since day one. Let's look at the Crucible as an example. These maps have been specifically designed, well, not the ones ripped straight from D1, and another one is apparently being introduced as new content as well, but every other one was developed with 8 players on the map in mind. Wasn't it? That's good PvP map design, right? How is an additional 4 combatants, 2 on each team, going to work? And furthermore, people are saying 6v6 is back, but as I read this, it's only going to be active during Iron Banner, so they aren't bringing it back completely, not at this point at least. So when? Now, this new Masterwork system on weapons and armor is only there to attempt to take Destiny's old random roll scheme and unceremoniously shoehorn it into the new armor and weapon mechanics, so it's not necessarily new. Exotics in heroic strikes? It's taken 4 months to add them back in? Fix clan engrams? Dismantle timers? How does it take a company so long to do what others seem to be able to do in a fraction of the time? Warframe just released a full weapon patch, coming, not just buffing or nerfing weapon types, but a full patch with individual stats specific to every weapon in the game, for the most part, and... Hello? Dude, they're updating a bunch of the Warframe's abilities as well, functionally and visually. There's so much stuff here I gotta go over. Did you just call it a gloat? I'm in the middle of recording. You can rub it in a little more later. Is that okay? Oh, yeah. That sounds good. But make sure you call me, all right? Talk to you later. Bye. Whatever. On top of all the updates they've been pumping out just in the last month or two, new Warframes, actual new weapons with completely new skins and stats, new quests, new customization, living spaces to decorate, and now what he just said, I don't think Destiny's ability system has ever gone through a rework en masse. Has it? Oh, and all that stuff's free. On top of that, I think there's a misconception out there that the player base just wants Destiny 1 back. So if you change the game to be like Destiny 1, it's just going to be fine. But I'm not sure about that. Has anyone considered that many of these changes coming to the game, including ones that lead up to the fall release of the Taken Queen or whatever they're going to call it, are pulled straight from Destiny 1 and might not have the same charm they did in the first place? Because the first time around it was, new. Everything new coming isn't new in this case, other than like the base story and maybe the upcoming DLC. And at this point, I have no faith in Bungie's storytelling, at least in this franchise, whatsoever. So here's the question I'm throwing out to the planet today. When do we get to see the new stuff? Like, I'm guessing, or maybe hoping, that there was a plan past launch day of where Destiny 2's future was headed, before people realized how shallow the game actually was. What was that game like? Did it have anything interesting and fresh, like that was supposed to be coming out around this time? Something that we haven't actually seen before, like maybe space battles with our worthless ships, or maybe an actual horde mode that we've been asking about for way too long now. Some kind of innovation at all. Obviously, Bungie wants people to play their game, right? I mean, why put any effort into fixing the game if not? There's just some piece that's missing here, and I think it's why for many people this is such an odd situation. The actions just don't match the words, and I feel like when people, especially customers, start identifying that in any situation, that's when a true problem begins. And for as diligently as Bungie may appear to be trying to salvage its IP, I can look at other smaller companies like Digital Extremes, see what kind of content per price point they're putting out as well as its sheer volume, and immediately ask myself, how could it possibly take months to just introduce the prestige mode of Curse of Osiris's mini raid that was originally made available in December? It's 5 months. I'm not going to gush about what DE's done in the past 5 months, but I think you can probably guess what that discussion might sound like if I did. I feel like if Bungie is now trying to fit a square peg into a round hole in trying to incorporate Destiny 1 systems now into Destiny 2, the people that do actually give the game a chance and come back are going to be dealing with a buggy mess, having to wait for patch after patch to fix little systems, sometimes big systems, in order to make the game the way they feel people want it to be. Which is always a terrible idea, because there are way too many perspectives to deal with out there in this player base, or any player base for that matter. So they'll never achieve this zen-like balance that they so desperately cling to, or at least the notion of anyhow. Truth be told, as I surf YouTube, I've overwhelmingly heard the cry that balance isn't fun anyhow, so where do we go from here? I honestly can't say. I wanted Destiny 2 to be Destiny 1 with new innovation. That was my expectation. What I feel like I received now months after my purchase is a game that has a different weapon loadout, different movement speed, different ability trees, different weapon and armor systems, different currency systems, different loot systems, different customization options, and every one of these seems like a regression from the last title. So now I have to wait another year to get the franchise back to where it was a year ago. Why? With all these other games out there going as hard as they can to grab more player base, how is any of this supposed to make me feel excited for the future? I'm sorry, I just don't get it. And until I see some type of content worthy of the term sequel in my eyes, I'm not seeing a reason to return to the game. And given how long it seems to take Bungie to make any type of meaningful changes, convenient how many of these major upcoming changes coincide with the DLC release, by the way. And one more thing. The fact that they are actively censoring the Destiny forums now to only those who have purchased Destiny 2, in my opinion, that's a terrible move, especially now, and one they're probably going to regret. Even if their intentions are positive, this is only going to create more space between the developer and community and will never be viewed in the gaze they intend. I'm fairly confident about that. I'm not really sure who's making a lot of the calls concerning customer interaction these days, but I feel like someone should probably do something about that portion of the company and have a talk before it's too late. You see what I did there? When I look at some of the comments in my videos, I see resentment brewing. I feel it myself. That's not something you want in a customer base. I'm pretty confident in that. And given what Bungie seems to be willing to offer their community as recompense for a really rocky launch here, which is nothing, essentially, I don't even know where to begin to fix things. But that's just my thoughts on the matter. What are yours? Are these changes enough to bring you back? Are you still playing now? If you are a Destiny 2 player that plays daily, let me know what calls you to play every day. I'd like to hear that specific perspective in particular. Maybe you can help me understand and even find a way to start enjoying the game again, because at the moment, I just can't do it, and pretty soon, I'm not going to want to either. But at any rate, I hope you all have a fantastic day. Please take extra special care of yourselves, and I'll talk at you in the next one. Bye.